Mark from Team Relinquished. I'm here with Ryan at my local Shane's Big League Collectibles. He just took 7th place with an interesting deck that I'll let him introduce. He actually beat me round 3. Round 4. Okay, go ahead.
Alright, so I'm playing Magician Infernities, or Infernity Magicians, whichever you prefer. Just using the consistency of the Magician engine to just everything works better with these pendulums. Your combos go longer, your hands start out better, everything works well. It's one of my favorite versions of this deck I've played so far. So onto the deck here. I'll start with the Magicians. 3 Wisdom. Yeah, of course. This card's really good.
Staple in any Magician deck.
3 Pulse. You want to have lots of these low scales just because Wisdom already acts as a high scale, so you need to make sure you always have one. You don't mind drawing more of them because it's still a rank 4, so you can still just summon them and just go off with them. So, it's good. 2 Pit. I'm considering going back down to 1 Pit. I don't think it matters too much one way or the other. You do want to try to always have one in your deck so that you can plus with Wisdom Eye. It's Spell and Trap Destruction, really good as well. And 1 Joker, because I can only run 1 now. So, for the Infernities, 1 Archfiend and 2 Necromancer. I've seen some people play 1 Necromancer. I don't like 1 Necromancer. I just feel like all your plays are weaker, less options. Can't make Livier, just all that stuff. And yeah, this card, really good. 3 Armageddon Knights. You just always want to see this card. You want to see copies of this card. It just does everything you want in the deck. Gets Archfiend to the hand, dumps utility cards like Zephyros, Tuning Magician, all kinds of stuff. Always want to see it. 2 Monk. I was running 1 with this deck for a while, and then I put 2 in, and the difference is just night and day. This card is really, really good. Anything out of your deck, great. 1 Eris, it's really, really important. Searches Archfiend. Just makes the deck much, much more flexible. 1 Skill Dread. This is a card I was definitely scared was going to be dead a lot. You have to activate 3 spells and traps, but again, the Magicians help a lot. Just if you open with this and Pendulum Call, that's already 3 right there. You don't have to do anything extra. And it's really rare that this card's actually dead, so it's a pleasant surprise. Zephyros, just with the Armageddon Knight and the Pendulums, Zephyros works really well. Just lots of cool stuff you can do with Zephyros.
Pretty easy rank 4.
Yeah, he makes lots of easy rank 4s, and he helps when otherwise hands would be bricks, or just helps you to make plays. He doesn't take very much. 1 Stygian. Stygian is very good with Archfiend, with everything, keeps your combos going longer. Really good. You only run 1 just because no Lavalval Chain, but 1 is plenty. Any more and you just start drawing them, but 1's good. 1 Archfiend Eccentric. This card is really good because it's searchable off of Eris. And obviously it's a good card in and of itself. It acts as another high scale, blows stuff up all over the field. Just really disruptive. It's also level 3, so you can use it to make Livier more often. Really good card. 1 Tuning Magician. I think this card is usually awful with Magicians, but it's really good for me because I'm running Armageddon Knight and Foolish Burial, so I can get it into the graveyard when I need it. And just level 1 is perfect with this deck, just like Avenger was. You make 9s, 8s, and 5s really, really easy.
Which you actually did trish me your first turn, which kind of sucked for me. But yeah.
Yeah, so pretty good card. And the fact that you can summon it from your hand or the graveyard, make sure it's not dead, it doesn't stick in your hand, so it doesn't block Archfiend's effects and stuff. So it works well with this deck. 3 Call, playing Magicians.
Standard.
3 Upstarts. I think this card's actually really important. It boosts your spell count for Summoner Monk. Like, I don't think I've ever opened Monk with no spells, just because I'm running Upstarts. I just always have something. And of course, this is a combo deck. You want to try to keep your card count low as possible. Draw into your pieces, opening.
And also 37 card deck.
Yeah, 37 card deck. It helps. You don't really care about the life points at all, just because your Infernity, you do so much damage that when you go for game, you'll have game. Doesn't matter if you have 1,000 extra. And also, it helps you to side stuff out.
Keep asking what?
3 instant fusion. Instant fusion helps a lot with. It makes your good hands better, and it makes your weak hands better. It's just very flexible. It doesn't. Not like a lot of the other cards where it depends on anything else, depends on any other cards in the deck. It does its own thing. Very effective, whatever you need. One Regeki, one Soul Charge, one Rhoda, one Foolish, one Launcher. So Regeki is pretty self-explanatory. Reinforcement. We only have one target. That's Armageddon Knight, and again, you just want to see Armageddon Knight as much as you possibly can, and it boosts your spell count. So. Foolish, it acts as an Armageddon Knight, but even better because it doesn't need to be normal or anything. It makes your plays happen faster, easier, great. Soul Charge, we know what Soul Charge does, it's just very effective. A lot of times you can use this on your first turn and just go harder than you could have ever gone before. It's a great top decking later, does a lot. And then one Launcher, of course, for Infernities. Makes your combos go faster, farther, all over the place. It helps you, especially when you're out of normal summons. You can summon it and get an extra cycle off of Archfiend really quickly. And then for traps, I'm just running 3. I'm running 1 barrier and 2 break. Barrier, of course, I mean, this is just the whole goal of the deck, just make a field with barrier on it. Excellent counter trap. Break's a little more iffy. The fact that you need a Infernity in your graveyard makes it dead sometimes, especially when you draw it in your first hand. So, break's okay. I've gone back and forth with 1 and 2, and sometimes I even side out, so I have none left. It just really depends on the matchup and whether you think this card will be worthwhile. And also, since you're not playing the synchro looping version, you're not going to be searching enough traps really to almost ever search break. It's really rare, but this card kind of helps out sometimes, and you can always set it up. So that's it for the main deck.
Okay, do you want to go to side or extra?
Let's go ahead and do the extra. Alright, so for the extra, 1 Levier. He's really good with this deck. I mean, the most common thing you can do is overlay 2 Necromancers and then summon a banished Stygian Street Patrol, and then just keep going. You know, and it converts those those dead Necromancers on the field into an 1800, and it just lets you go for a game a lot faster. You can even get back other banished cards, like I've summoned banished Archfiends, I've summoned banished Tuning Magicians with it actually once, which was pretty interesting. So, Livier, good. Emerald.
Recycle.
Yeah, it recycles. It's just really good. It's just a +1. Sometimes you're a little hesitant to play it because you want to make sure to never put yourself in a position where you're going to draw a monster and end your whole turn right there. So be careful when you use it, but I mean, just when you can, it's really effective. Dweller. Dweller is really good. It shuts down so many decks. It stalls out turns when you need to slow things down. You know, sometimes you need to wait to draw on your pieces. Dweller helps a ton. Or he can help with when you're trying to just make a really big board. It's difficult to get over. Really effective. He's also one of the monsters where you can immediately detach one, and you want as many of those as possible so that you can cycle Archfiend quickly. You know, make something with Archfiend, detach immediately, and then summon the Archfiend. You want as many of those immediate detach. It doesn't really hurt if you only have 1 material. Castell, self-explanatory. Karen Gorgon. I like Karen Gorgon because anyone who's played Infernity knows a lot of times what happens when you set the barrier is your opponent always knows where it is, so it gets MST'd. I like to make Karen Gorgon when I have just, other than Archfiend, I have 2 extra rank 4s. They're level 4s rather. Just make the Karen Gorgon, it just makes your field slightly more imposing. And he's a nice big monster too, so it's pretty good. Crab King. Crab King's actually been really essential for me, I've found. I didn't run this for a long time, but I think it's really important, even without stuff like towers running around. Just being able to put a 3000 beat stick on the field, you know, and then he's safe, you know, he puts himself into defense. It's a really good card, really effective for him.
He gets over Dark Destroyer.
Gets over all kinds of stuff, really. It's really effective. Diamond Dyer. Diamond Dyer is really effective in this deck. I like throwing Diamond Dire whenever I can summon so many level 4s that I can just start throwing them away. Diamond Dire helps a lot for that. Sometimes with some fields, you can do a Diamond Dire before you do your Pendulum Summon to try to make things as safe as possible. Or sometimes just when you have so many monsters on the field, which is pretty easy, you can start just blowing stuff up. Really good card. Gargaga Samurai. This card I've actually found to be one of the most important rank 4s just because it does so much damage. It's 3,800 damage direct when you summon this card. And a lot of times, I mean, a lot of my wins just come from going for just the full OTK, just as much damage as I can put on the board. And Gargaga Samurai is really important for that. He's also one of the ones that you can detach immediately and keep your combo going as long as you need it to go. So, really important card, I think. Utopia, this is like the 15th card right now. I used to run it. It used to be really effective for dealing with Dark Destroyer, but I haven't been running into that many Cosmos right now because they're pretty expensive right now, but it was really effective for dealing with Dark Destroyer. It makes Cosmos, it puts them in a really bad spot, and you can summon so many level 4s that this is really easy to make. You can make it with very little impact. And I mean, I haven't made this in a while now, so this is probably going to come out pretty soon for something else. One Chanbara. Again, this is kind of like Gargaga Samurai.
Hells go for game.
You just go for game. This card is 4,600 damage direct, so even more than Samurai. And it doesn't lose the attack either, so it just sits on. It becomes a big monster if you don't deal with it too. So really easy to make with Tomb Magician. One Stardust. You can make this naturally, or I also have the side Starlight Road to make it. But you can make this pretty easy on your first turn if you want to make a really big field. This is one of the better monsters to put out there. Just harder to get your field out of the way. One Beals, because Tuning Magician is dark, so you can make Beals. You can make it pretty easy with a Necromancer, Archfiend, and a Tuning Magician. This card is really good. A lot of decks have a hard time getting over it. It just annihilates Dark Destroyer. Yeah, Beals is a good card. One Trishula, of course. It's very ridiculously easy to make with Tuning Magician.
It's trash.
It's trash. Non-targeting, banish 3 cards, up to 3. It's great.
It's so free.
And then, of course, 2 Nordens for the 3 instant fusions. You don't need 3. If you drew 3 instant fusions, 3 Nordens isn't going to help you. So Norden's good. And
Now just the side deck.
just the side deck. Side deck's just kind of whatever I was feeling, but I have 2 Wavering because I was expecting to play more Pendulum stuff, but right now everyone's playing Monarchs, unfortunately, so I haven't sided this in lately, but that's Wavering Eyes. We mostly needed to counter other Wavering Eyes to prevent ridiculous swings in the game. But, 3 MST. MST, it's always good.
Why not Twin Twisters?
I'm not running Twin Twisters because I'm already discarding a lot of cards with Summoner Monks. I'm discarding with Pendulum Call. And just generally, I'm not going to have cards in my hand. Just when I'm going turn to turn, I expect to have no cards in my hand. So if I top deck the Twin Twisters, I'm not going to do anything. And I find MST does the job I need it to do, and I don't have enough cards really to keep discarding.
Oh yeah.
3 Trap Stun. Trap Stun or MST, sometimes it's tough to decide which one you want to put in. I would run this more if I played more Tellers, but I haven't been playing any lately. But it's pretty nice. Just set the card, and then if you want to go for a big push later on, just Trap Stun, and you're home free. 2 Fiend Griefing. I just put these in to try them out against Monarchs. And anything else weird that it might be effective against. Obviously, the returning a monster in the graveyard is good, and then I do really well with the sending a Fiend. I can send Eris to search, I can send Stygian, or I can just send a Necromancer or something if those aren't an option. But pretty interesting card. Let me see. 1 Torrential.
Still one of.
Yeah, just as a one of. I find it's better against some decks than others, which is why I don't put it in the main. But I think there's some decks that this really cripples just being able to wipe the board. So vanities.
Self-explanatory.
Yeah, it's self-explanatory, and again, I find some decks this hurts more than others, so that's why I have it on the side. But yeah, if you make a big field and you have the vanities, you're just
Good game.
It's good game. One bottomless, just another card that hurts some more than others. Just Destroy and Banish. It gets over a lot of boss monsters. A lot of them don't get their effects, just all kinds of stuff. One Soul Drain, just trying this out, see if it's any good. Hasn't been too effective lately, so I can get rid of this pretty soon.
What the hell are we talking about over here?
And then one Starlight Road. I have the Stardust and the extra, so why not? There's a lot of mass destruction running around nowadays. A lot of people are running double Dark Hole, Regeki, Twin Twisters. So this card's live actually more often than you'd think. Even without, and Wavering Eyes. Even more often than you'd think, without Heavy Storm. But yeah, Starlight Road. So that's the whole deck.
Okay, guys. Actually, what would be like your worst matchup today?
My worst matchup today? Monarchs are pretty tough. I find that I can beat them, but Majesties is really hard to remove, obviously, as well as their field spell. Other stuff I tend to have trouble with is Dark Claw. I lose very frequently to hero decks. Dark Claw really pulls double weight just because it hurts the pendulums, it hurts all my graveyard, everything. That stuff's really hard to get over, but I find that I have the best matchups against decks that allow me to go first and set up a big field. If they don't run hand traps to stop me, then I can it's really hard to stop.
Alright. Well, guys, this is vicmerc with Team Relinquished, signing off.